Hello, everybody. You are watching Eddie Pepitone, live from the bunker.
Eddie Pepitone, live from the bunker.
We're all gonna die.
Eddie Pepitone, live from the bunker.
Keep
Every
wiping
day
down
at
shit.
4 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram. Eddie Pepitone, live from the bunker. Eddie
It's over, folks.
Pepitone, live from the bunker.
Hey, how are you today? Not good? Me too. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California, and have you noticed that the pollution has gotten less because there's less people around, there's less industry going on. Do you know what that means? That human beings, maybe would be better if they're gone. Now, I'm vegan. This has all been created by people abusing animals. Do you know that? That's right. In Wuhan, China, they sell live animals, and the virus jumped from animal to human, and that's how all these pandemics start. And it's going to get worse, but I don't want to be negative. I want to be very negative. My guest today is going to be Tim Dillon. That's right. He is really funny and crazy, and Tim knows it's the end as well. And by the way, those of you who are keeping out hope that this isn't the end, you may be right. You may be right. I'm 61, so I think I'm in a very high-risk category, even though it takes a lot to knock me down. A lot to knock me down. But I am a hypochondriac, too. All right, so the news of the day. Do you believe that there are morons doing something online called the coronavirus challenge, where they are licking like airplane seats? My producer, Steve Feinarts, told me this. I will not watch it. My dog is barking. My dog alerts me to danger. All the time she alerts me to danger. That's right, Charlotte. What is it? Oh, we got another package delivered. Remember to wipe it down? Remember to wipe it down? We wipe down everything. But I love, Charlotte alerts me to danger. Already here in LA, helicopters are swarming all over the place. All over the place. By the way, me and Tim are going to take questions from you. So please give us questions about the virus. I've been watching fucking CNN, corporate news media, and it's very addictive right now. And you have to watch some news. You have to be aware of stuff, because I do want to live. I have so much unfinished business. By the way, get your affairs in order. Okay, everybody needs to get your affairs in order. And the first thing you do with your affairs are that you wipe them with Clorox. Okay, so today, do you believe that people are doing this fucking coronavirus challenge? Now, let's just hope those people die, right? Because they're idiots. And this virus will cull the herd. And by the way, young people out there, whatever young means to you, you can get it, and it's, even if this virus is absolutely horrific. Like, people who've gotten it and survived it describe it as the worst thing they ever have gotten. Worse than like sitting through a set by fill-in-the-blank comedian. By the way, it is good that a lot of live performances have stopped, because we don't need to see some of the comedians out there, and you know who I'm talking about, okay? So people are doing that. Unbelievable. We could actually be in kind of like this quarantine type of situation till August, which I really can't imagine. And today, the Trump administration that that crack team. By the way, how does it feel to be in the hands of that crack team? How does it feel to be in the? It sort of doesn't feel good, huh? And they're talking about, this is unbelievable. They have like put aside billions, trillions for industry, for Boeing, airlines, for Boeing, for Wall Street, and they're thinking about giving us average Americans, I believe, it's $2,000. Do you know how long $2,000 lasts? Not long. Not long at all. It really, really doesn't. So that is unbelievable. If we got what Wall Street got, we would be getting $4,500 a person. That's right, $4,500 a person if you average that out to what they got. But the priority in capitalist society, and by the way, isn't it fun to be in a society that the biggest cultural advice they have for you is have a Snickers, have a Diet Coke. It's oh, that'll be great, So anyway, Basil and Charlotte, as I said, are holding out. Basil is right here. Come here, Baz. Can you give me Basil for a second? Here we go. I just want everybody to see how Basil is holding out. He is just. By the way, kiss your dogs, okay? We just gave Basil a bath, and he just smells good. And hey, Basil, all right, say hello to everybody, Basil. All the human beings are gonna die. Okay, Basil, he wants to get down. Okay, there he goes. Anyway, I live surrounded by love, and that's why I don't really care about dying, because when you're surrounded by love. By the way, can you imagine when newscasts are just going to be like Wolf Blitzer crying, like it'll breaking news, and Wolf is just crying, and he's like, I don't even want to read this to you. I don't want to read this to you. Look, folks, I'm going to hang myself right here at CNN because I can't take it anymore. That's when you know things are bad. So anyway, it's quite frightening. It's quite frightening. Read Chris Hedges. Read Chris Hedges if you want to know the skinny, Read Empire of Illusion. These are books by Pulitzer Prize winning Chris Hedges. Read Empire of Illusion. Read The Death of the Liberal Class. Read his last book, America, the Farewell Tour. Now, I have a sign on my door here. I have put a sign on my door here in this apartment here in North Hollywood. It just says, welcome, sweet death. Where have you been? I'm trying to use reverse psychology on it, on this whole virus thing. And I mean, the numbers are staggering, how many people. By the way, my teeth are very fucked up. I'm supposed to get a new bridge. I had both these teeth. I told people yesterday I was in a fight in Whole Foods. I was trying to get seltzer, and this guy just clocked me, and I thought I could take him. He was like 5 years old, but the kid, very athletic. I had no idea. So anyway, my dentist, who was supposed to fix this shit earlier in the week, he called in sick. So, all right, we're going to get Tim Dillon. We're going to get Tim on over here. Let's see. When is the Bitter Buddha? Oh, someone asked the question, when is the Bitter Buddha Part 2 coming out? I don't know. It might be it might be coming out very soon. Okay, we're going to go live with Tim. waiting for Tim. Oh, Tim Dillon. Thank God Tim is coming on. Hey, there he is.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me in the bunker.
Yeah, man. By the way, I immediately see your living space and your parquet floors.
Yeah.
By the way, look beautiful. What do you use, Tim, to keep them shiny?
Well, I'm 35 and I have a roommate, so we use each other's tears. We use our tears to keep the floor shiny. You know, me and you have been emotionally preparing for this. I was for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and reading the great hedges and everything. I was just walking around Beverly Hills because I like to spy on the rich and see what they're doing. I like to. I peer through gates. I make them very uncomfortable. I go in there and there's a few. I'm dead serious. There's a few of them still there, but they're getting ready to go. You feel it. You feel it.
To one of their houses far away.
Well, they're going to Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket and islands. They're going to islands and they're going to Montana where the rich bought a lot of properties in Montana in the last few years, and those properties have their own water aquifers, and they have land rights and water rights. Oh, yeah. So they're going to go to places like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a park across the street. No, it's a really nice park, and dogs are allowed off leash.
Yes.
And that's what we have,
That's what we have. I mean, they're gonna, this whole idea of giving people $1,000 or $2,000.
How hilarious is that? Here's $2,000 everybody. By the way, Mitch McConnell said to his other senators before they passed this bill, he said, gag and pass it anyway, meaning I know this is abhorrent that we have to give
the people money.
We have to give the peasants, some money. It's can they be any? Can the powers that be be any more disdainful of people who have little any more disdainful?
Or inhuman. Inhuman. Even let's say you were this evil corporate guy. At this moment, it's to let it leave your mouth, to vocalize that. The contempt you have to have for human beings to say that when they're already talking about unemployment going to 20%. These are things that are,
and that's a low estimate, by the way, because whenever they say a number, and by they I mean the scumbags.
Yeah.
Right? And I say that with all due respect.
Of course. We're so lucky to have them.
By the way, it's been very funny watching Trump lately act presidential.
Well, what's funny is Trump is now at a point where Trump's superpower, if he had one, was things were good, always artificially, right? Everything was good, but it was
tremendous. We're doing a tremendous job with the virus.
Right. So, but now that it's a pandemic, you can't, nobody's wants the roasty, Trump's a Vegas roast comedian. So you know what I mean? That's what he is. But it's it's only funny if you can pay for dinner and you've got food in your stomach. But a Vegas roast comedian doesn't work if you're broke and you're out of work and you're coughing and you're sick. So he's lost his superpower, and he's just up there he wants out. He wants out now.
He does, right?
Yeah.
He just looks kind of glued in place and just kind of going. But he's still doing the hyperbole of
I just wish, I love Bernie. I just wish Bernie had gotten up in that last debate and said, listen, let's be honest here. It's you guys are a bunch of fucking crooks, and you've robbed. And you want to.
By the way, I know, and I'm a little disappointed in Bernie not really taking the gloves off.
Yeah.
In a big way. But the debate format is horrible because
it's horrible.
Because what happens is that Biden can say, no, I did not vote for the war, which, you know, just the absolute lies, right?
Yeah, just
And he
lie.
could say it forcefully. All he has to do is say it forcefully.
Right.
And who is going, like the average citizen, even
Yeah.
with the time they have now on their hands, they're not going to go looking at Joe Biden's record. They're going to
Correct.
be, you know, on Netflix, you know,
Right. Yeah.
whatever.
I mean,
They're going to be just doing the usual shit.
I mean, Joe Biden has just been on both
Oh, my
sides of
God.
every issue. He's never committed to any beliefs. This is what I love about like the pundit class. Like, you know, they all do the same thing. Like, you know, the Iraq war is a great idea, and then 3 years later they go, "It's we're weak. I can't even imagine who would." So it's like none of these people believe in anything. They're all just stuffing money in their mouth until, you know, we get to a situation like we're in now, where like now all the hucksters are kind of being unmasked. You know?
Yeah, it is. It is amazing that this
Yeah.
virus is kind of like, it's also a great leveler.
Yeah.
Like, do you think anything good will come out of this? Like, people will have to say shit like, "Oh my God," you know, because the narcissism,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is a disease in our culture, that is a disease in
Yeah.
capitalism, is
Yeah.
now also being exposed because they're showing how, like, you know, people on spring break are like, "Fuck it." You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what it is, man? As much as I want us to get out of this, I look at our culture and I'm just disgusted. We are a deeply selfish and soulless culture. You know, it's on display very clearly now, when even in the most desperate times, people are, you know, selfishly putting others at risk, or people are like,
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's just, you know, Carlin used to say it. It's like kind of like garbage in, garbage out. It's like, this is, you know, we've been building this culture for decades of people that just don't give a shit about each other or themselves. And now it's like the chickens have come home to roost a little bit. It's like, you know, people can't get out of Applebee's. They want to stuff mozzarella sticks in their ass. They don't care. They don't care if grandma dies. They want to go out. And you know,
As Applebee's remained open.
yeah, and Apple, they'll stay. And that's the other thing people should realize. It's like, I feel genuinely bad for some of these people. Some of these people are like, why are these waiters and waitresses working? It's like, they don't have any money. This is the last money they'll see. And that's the system we have, is that you can't miss a day. You can't miss an hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Zero safety net, you know.
Yeah.
The gig economy. The
Right.
gig economy has
Right.
been exposed. The gig economy has been exposed.
Yeah, it's been exposed big time. And like, I just hope, and I know that this is, you know, I hope after a month or two, like, we can kind of like, because I think people are going to lose their minds inside every day on the internet.
Oh, absolutely, right?
Yeah, I think people are going to lose their minds. I think you know, large parts of our country are schizophrenic. I mean, they're just, you know, I mean, the people that go to bed every night and they're like, Trump's got, you know, under control. Like, you know, their minds are melted. So the idea that they're going to now be inside on the internet for 60 days?
Well, dude, have you been aware of any of the? By the way, there also the comics.
Yeah.
There are some comics who wanted to perform up until a couple of days ago.
Yeah, they're sick. They're sick.
What the fuck?
Well, because comics are such diseased people.
They are.
They would rather get chuckles than live. You know? Yeah.
Yes, they would rather. I understand that, but you know, I also have, and also Tim, watch this when we finally do get out of this. Let's say 18 months from now, something like that.
Yeah.
The fucking comics
right.
are still going to be having talks about, like, their sets are still going to be like, dating is nuts. Like,
they're going to get up and they're going to go, the couple where Liv I mean, that's another thing. I think when and if, you know, obviously comedy will emerge again eventually, but when it emerges, people are going to have to talk about real shit. And you see the comics that never talk about anything real. You see them online struggling, not knowing what to do.
Of course.
Because they've never had a conversation. Like, they don't entertain any real thoughts even in their own head.
Right.
Like, I remember I said to one comic during the North Korea nuclear thing, I said, it's fucking weird, you know, us in another country having this nuclear trade. he goes, yeah, you can't joke about it. The audiences are too sensitive. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm talking about something real. And the only thing you can talk about is the like, it's like.
It's
So,
unbelievable. I can't wait for the Z's Ansari new hour.
Yeah, the new special. Right. Yeah, plague dating, pandemic dating.
Plague dating, yes.
Yeah, plague dating. Yeah, I'm excited for it too.
So what are the conspiracy theories that are out there?
Well, so the conspiracy theories now, which again, I'm a conspiracy guy, but they're so stupid that I can't even take part in them. I mean, there's this QAnon conspiracy where like this whole thing is the QAnon. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
this,
I do. QAnon.
It's that that Donald Trump is fighting this shadow war with all these bad actors in our society, intelligence people, business people. And so this whole virus is fake, and it's just a way to arrest Tom Hanks and Oprah for being pedophiles. Literally, that's the conspiracy. It was like written. Wow. It's a bad screenplay. And there are people, lots of them, who believe this, and it's scary. And it's like, I believe like, I believe half of all these, like where I'm like, yeah, I believe the elites are bad. Some of them are pedophiles. They cover each other's back and everything. And then they're like, and Donald Trump's arresting them, right? I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, no. Actually, no, I don't think he's arresting him. The guy that, this is, and the evangelical Christians have chosen this guy. He owns casinos, and he ran the Miss Universe pageant. And, I mean, he had a modeling agency. It's like, why did he have a modeling agency? Because he wanted to empower women. It's so fun. I mean, but again, it's like, it's magical thinking. It's religion. Yes. And these people, because in all of these Trump QAnon memes, a few paragraphs down is like John 3:16, a quote from the Bible. Because this is just it's a way to get people into religion. And I think a lot of these big money religious guys are actually like pumping a lot of these conspiracy guys, because they go, a lot of your flock is going to end up in my church throwing money in the basket. So I actually think that there is some like symbiosis between like these rabid right-wing Christian conservatives and like some of these conspiracy. And then the other conspiracy, which I find harder to dismiss, is that, maybe this is some type of like bio weapon that was, cooking around. I don't know. I mean, whether it is or not, it seems.
You've heard about Lyme disease. That conspiracy about it was also a military weapon. But you know what I think it is? Much more to the point. Is that we have destroyed the fucking environment. Well, we have destroyed the environment. And these diseases, these pandemics are climate related.
That's true.
Climate fucking related. In Wuhan, China, and especially the treatment of animals. Sure, they fucking have these live, and these diseases jump from animals to human beings. So there's no bio fucking warfare there. It's fucking just done by us. And nobody talks about overpopulation, by the way. How overpopulated? Is this world? It's insane.
Well, what's interesting is like what you wonder when we make it out of this, if we make it out of this, what lasting changes are there? Do people say to themselves like, we're going to have to start listening to scientists and public health and all the people that we don't listen to because they're boring, and they don't have reality shows and they don't throw wine at each other.
By the way, the reality shows would be hilarious. Like who will get coronavirus the last, and it's still the same type of like housewives from Orange County type people.
It's I just wonder also, comedically, like, does this make people less apt to go into moving to New York or LA to be an actor, actress, comedian is kind of something that you can do when things the world isn't over. So it's like, how like are we gonna, like, are people just is art completely dead after this, or does art come back and it's better? I don't know. It's weird to know.
Well, this is, by the way,
I worry about these independent comedy clubs going out of business, and then they're all replaced by these mall corporate comedy clubs.
Oh God, yeah, like everything. Like,
Yeah.
well, by the way, did Hedges come out with an article this week? I have not seen
I've
it.
not seen it. I was actually going to ask you, where is Hedges?
Yeah.
I Google, I always try to read him all the time, and I haven't seen him recently.
Right.
So I don't know where he is.
I saw him on Lee Camp's Redacted. You ever watch Redacted?
I haven't, but I know people like it, but I haven't seen.
Right.
I actually
he was
reached
on
out to those
Redacted
guys.
like last week.
I got in touch with Hedges, and Hedges was going to come on the show.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was. And then the problem is I haven't been in New York because I wanted to get him in the studio, but now I think obviously that there is no more studios. It's like I'll just try to get him, online. I wanted to get him in studio because he's such a formidable guy. I wanted to get him in the studio, but I'll try to have him on Skype or whatever because
that would be amazing.
I think he understands this on a degree that most people don't.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he absolutely, saw this coming.
Right.
And not only is it the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
But it's coupled with the financial collapse.
The collapse.
It's like the perfect storm, which was a George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg movie.
Right. Well, it's just a house of cards.
Let's take some questions here.
Oh, yes.
Let's see. The Guy's Grill and Body, the American Home. When is, I don't see, I'm not seeing, so, all right, we'll wait for some questions. I'm sure there are some questions coming in, but camps coming to Walmart, someone just said. I don't know, that sounds.
I mean, who knows? I mean, listen.
Will there be greeters? Will there be greeters at the camp?
Yeah. Everything and anything is on the table right now, which I think, including martial law.
What about martial law?
Yeah, I mean, well, that Gavin Newsom said it today. He's the governor of our fine state here, that it's on the table. I mean, anything is on the table. When you see the type of,
oh my God,
systemic collapse that's possible, you will see all kinds of stuff like that. I think, we should have had these tests months ago. This is the problem when you have sociopaths in office. They don't care about anything. Like Kurt Vonnegut said, they get to these positions, they don't care. They just go, do this, do that, do that. They don't care what happens.
God, Vonnegut is so fucking great.
Yeah, and he said that. He goes, these people, they're so successful because they don't care what happens. They're doers. They don't think, they do, So it's like they don't want. So the reality is we need tests because if we had tests, then we would know who fucking had this and then who didn't. And then we could kind of figure out how to go forward. Absent testing, I don't know what the fuck you do other than sit on your ass. And how long can you do that before, and maybe this is maybe this is the moment when people wake the fuck up and go, everything in our society is rotten.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Bernie was because he kind of had that energy. That's how Trump got elected. By saying everything's rotten. And people forget that. But Trump got elected by going out there and saying everyone on the stage is a liar. And I know it because I'm a liar. And there was something very powerful about that. And he said they're all corrupt. And you know how I know it? I'm corrupt. And it's
absolutely, which is why he got elected. Because
that's why he got elected. Yeah.
He was verbalizing that.
Yes. Yeah, it was the first time. I remember when he said, I did a double take. When somebody said something about killing, and he goes, we kill a lot of people here in America too. And I was like, this is the first guy running for president that just admitted that America does fucked up shit. And I'm like, this guy is going to win because people are going to be sold on the idea that he gives a fuck, and he doesn't.
How are we going to organize, though? How are we going to organize?
Well, right now, it's digitally because you can't leave, there's nowhere to go. The problem with, I think...
People are so fucking misinformed.
Yeah, people are misinformed. I think the problem is you just have a lot of people who still have belief in the types of, the Joe Bidens of the world. They just still think that, political hacks are the way to go. When they are the ones who got us into this, process in the first place. There's still a lot of people that believe that, but every generation, I don't think me and you are going to see it, sadly, but every generation, I think generations under us are going to figure out how wrong these people have been and for how long, but I don't know that me and you will see it. I think, sadly, the baby boomer generation
Mhm.
that, raised me and, fed my
Mhm, mhm,
generation
mhm, mhm.
poisoned food at Wendy's every day. And, I mean, just a deeply selfish group of people.
Yeah,
They don't want to relinquish,
yeah,
any control, and they're not gonna,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
exactly. Hey, somebody else asked a question. Are you glad you're in LA as opposed to New York right now?
Well, yeah, a little bit, because I know that New York, and it saddens me. I have a lot of friends there. New York's just been hit real hard
Yeah,
by
I know.
this, because it's a very, dense population. See, it's population density. LA has a dense population, but New York population density is bad.
It's in a smaller area.
It's a smaller area, so I think that, like, unfortunately, yeah, I feel better in LA right now. But I used to go back to New York all the time. I love New York. I go back and see a show.
Yeah.
Theater. There's no theater in LA. You can't see. I would go back.
Oh,
And,
I know you're a big theater guy. I mean, me and you,
yeah,
me and Tim, a lot of times when we'll meet at the Comedy Store, we'll just
Yeah.
quote scenes from Death of a Salesman. And just
yeah,
other comics are, spinning
yeah.
ideas out in the
Other
parking
comics
lot.
are selling merch, and we're talking about Death of a Salesman. But it is sad because you get bored here. I'm not a surfer, so it's like.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
get to a point when you're like, well, what the hell can I do other than, sit around and wait for our, colossal group of fools to fail us even more.
Well, I don't know if you're into it, but I'm thinking of putting up an online production of The Wool Gatherer.
Yeah.
And or Tea Exchange, one of those.
Let's do it. Me, you, and Megan Kester and the Wool Gatherer.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
All right, well, Tim, I'm going to let you go.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. And,
stay safe and stay sane, and let's hope we all see each other sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know?
Thank you, Tim.
Thank
and
you so much, buddy.
you are so funny and great. All right.
Thank
see
you,
later,
brother.
man.
You too.
See you later. All right. That was the great Tim Dillon joining us here. So listen, I'm going to be doing this Monday through Friday. I do have in the bio of the Instagram is my Ko-Fi donation. I had some donations yesterday, a couple. That would be great. Maybe I can get this bridge fixed. Tim has a podcast which is really popular. It's just called The Tim Dillon Show, so check that out. Go to Ko-Fi on my bio. Tomorrow's guest is Blair Sochi. So tune in tomorrow, everybody, and thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you. Bye.